Hi, Abby. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm going to start by introducing myself very quickly. My name is Carlo Borghi, and I'm based in SKIM's London office. I'm mostly involved in communication research, and in the area of communication, I also work to create new research techniques and to constantly develop and increase our subject matter expertise. And today's story is about the creation and validation of global claims. And as you will see, it will feature a brand new research technique, and we share some of the knowledge that we have gathered by running many communication studies. So it's a nice mix of new technique and actual content expertise. But today, I'm going to tell you the story. It's going to be the story of Maxine. She has just been appointed as the global brand manager of Coco Cream, a very storied brand of shampoos whose key ingredient is coconut milk. And Coco Cream is one of the world's best-known brands and is market leader in over 120 countries. However, Maxine is now facing a problem. In the past, to make sure that the Coco Cream brand resonated with different cultures, great freedom was given to country managers. And as a result, Coco Cream has a slightly different positioning in each market. For example, in Brazil, you see that it's positioned as the all-natural shampoo with pure coconut milk essence that is general on your hair. So it's all about being natural. In Japan, it's a different story. It is positioned as it makes your hair healthier and stronger thanks to the healthy power of coconut milk. So it's all about healthy, strong hair. In Germany, on the other hand, it's all about pampering yourself. Enjoy again taking care of your hair with Coco Cream's indulgent coconut fragrance. And the same thing happens in the US, in Spain, Mexico, and China. So Maxine really wants to rectify the situation. She intends to use research to identify the best benefit statement for Coco Cream that can be consistently communicated in every country. However, this is not easy. This is going to be a big decision, and everybody has an opinion about it. First of all, the local teams are worried about cultural differences. They fear that benefit statements written with the American consumer in mind will not work well in India or Brazil, for example. So the research results could be biased by which countries you include and how you phrase the statements. So the local teams are asking, are we sure that running a massive worldwide test across such different countries does actually make sense? And then there's another problem. The local teams say that if any research is to be carried out, their current benefit statement should be included as well, because surely they're going to come out on top. So just in case, they also came out with some other new ones that are really good. So altogether, Maxine has over 100 statements on her hands. So Maxine is a bit unsure what to do, how to solve these two problems. So she reaches out to SKIM, her favorite market research agency. And the SKIM experts can actually address both of her concerns. Let's start with the first one, culture-specific preferences. We have run a meta-analysis to identify which elements drive preference for claims and benefit statements. And through the meta-analysis, we have learned that the fundamental drivers of success are the same across cultures and countries. Knowing these drivers, we could create some golden rules that can be used to create effective statements. So as an example, I'm going to show you a short selection of our golden rules. For example, we know that you have to promise value by offering relevant and tangible benefits. We learned that it's good to put a key benefit first, for example, and it's always good to offer more than one benefit in the same statement. Then you have to be specific. You have to make benefits very tangible. And for this, you can use both numbers and words. And then finally, you need to set yourself apart by offering something that is truly differentiating and unique. However, so as I said, these are rules that apply worldwide. However, there are also a few key differences between countries and geographical areas. So if I show you these two statements, let's start with the first one, 80% less dandruff in only 2 weeks. Second one is visible decrease of dandruff in half the time compared to regular shampoos. For example, consumers in Asia would have a preference for the first one. And consumers from Europe and the US would reject it. The reason is that the comparison is, for the first statement, is actually it's an implicit comparison, it's less concrete. So it's 80% less dandruff, but we don't say compared to what? Compare maybe to no shampoo, compared to my regular shampoo. This is not so much of a problem in Asia, but it's a problem for European and American consumers. On the other hand, the second statement contains a very concrete statement, a very concrete comparison versus the rest of the category. Another example that I have for you, let's look at these two statements. For stronger, fuller hair, healthier hair, and repairs and revitalizes fragile and broken hair. The second statement tells you what is not going to happen. So your hair is not going to be fragile and broken anymore. So in general, we see that consumers prefer positive statements compared to negative ones. So, and by this I mean statement like the first one, where you only talk about things that are going to happen, not things that are going to be avoided. Hawever, in areas like Latin America and Asia, it's also very important and appreciated to reassure consumers about negative things that are not going to happen. In Europe and North America, on the other hand, it's usually just better to focus on the positive aspects. Final example, we're going to look at reasons to believe. There you go. Yeah, reasons to believe. Let's look at the first one. We have triple action system that is scientifically proven to repair broken hair. In this case, this reason to believe would work quite well in Asia. And the reason is that it's using technological terms or any scientific term. On the other hand, let's look at General for the Skin, approved by the Association of Dermatologists. This one is going to work well in Latin America and Asia as well. And the reason is that it contains an endorsement from a relevant body of experts. And finally, the third one, with proteins that strengthen your hair from root to tip, is going to work well in Europe and North America. And the reason is that it mentions ingredients, and even better, it mentions how they actually work in the product. So knowing all this, what do we do? What do we do with all this knowledge? Essentially, SKIM can help Maxine to work on the list of statements. First of all, we can help by creating more effective statements by applying the global golden rules. Then secondly, we can revise the list of statements sent in by local teams. If we see that some statements use communication motifs that are too country-specific, we can either adapt the statement or mark them and account for country-specific differences whenever we run the analysis. So this takes care of the first problem. However, we're still left with a lot of statements. We have more than 100. So how can we do research with so many statements? Well, luckily, SKIM has another good idea. There's so many items, we are going to use an evolutionary algorithm coupled with MaxDiff. This algorithm enables us to test as many items as we want. So this algorithm is based on, first of all, data collection, then real-time estimation of the data collected up to a certain point in time, and then the algorithm uses the results of the estimation to move towards a higher potential solution. So the process is then repeated many times so that you end up closer and eventually get also more observation for the best solution. Now, I'm going to show you how this idea works in the case of claim testing. In this case, we start with the full list of 100 statements, and we collect enough data for them. We understand which statements are for sure not going to be winners, and then we focus on the higher potential ones, and we collect more data and more insights for them. And at the end, we end up with a small set of high potential statements and one winner, which is a statement about strong and shiny hair. So this is the winning statement, and basically the results, the research results come in, and Maxine is really happy because this statement is clearly the winner, and it works well in every country. However, Maxine can also see that something else. By classifying the statements by type of benefit claimed, we can also see something very interesting. We see that, for example, in Asia, statements about technology work very well. And in Latin America, statements about health work very well. And in Europe, statements about fragrance are very much appreciated. So this is great news for Maxine, because even keeping in mind communicate for reason of consistency means that local teams will still be able to enrich their communication by adding statements that are effective in their own country. So as a conclusion, this solves both issues that Maxine had. The research has been carried out, and the results make Maxine very happy because there is one clear winner, and they make also all the local teams very happy because they have something that they can work with. So to conclude, Maxine is happy, the internal stakeholders are happy, SKIM is happy, and hopefully you're not bored. So this concludes my story, so I'm going to be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Carlo. That was a great presentation. I don't think anyone will be bored from that. We have some time now for some questions. I'm going to just go through some questions now. If anybody has any additional ones, just send them through. But I have one here for you, Carlo. It's about the algorithm that you mentioned at the end. They ask, if I understand correctly, you applied this to max diff. Can the same idea be applied to other methods, for example, conjoint?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and actually, as we speak, we're also working on applying this algorithm to conjoint. And essentially, yes, the same principle can be applied to any type of choice exercise. However, there also are some limitations to keep in mind when you apply it, for example, to conjoint. This method works on excluding levels and product characteristics that are basically bad, that don't have high potential, which is fine if you want to build, if you're looking for the best product profile, how to build the best product profile. However, this type of algorithm would not be useful if you aim to get a realistic forecast of the share of every product in the market. Because to do that reliably, you need to have a very reliable utility estimation for every product characteristic, the good ones and the bad ones. And this is something this method that doesn't do very well because it's so focused on converging to the best characteristics.
I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Carlo. I see a few more questions coming in. Someone asked, are these golden rules applicable to both in-store, so shopper claims, and out-of-store claims, such as consumer claims?
I would say very much so. We see, yeah, they can be applied in both cases, and actually see that these rules can be used to generate statements that are very effective and can then be reworked in many ways. For example, you could do this research not only to find statements to put on pack, but also to find statements that you can build a whole advertisement campaign around. So it's not just about what you put on pack, is really about the type of benefit that you want to communicate.
Right. I hope that answered your question. If you have more to ask, just let me know. For someone else asked, yes, she said thank you, so that's great. Someone asked, for the first stage where you refine the list with the algorithm, what sort of questions can you ask? For example, uniqueness, or I think she says here PI. Can you elaborate?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, usually we have a number of standard metrics that we collect whenever we do claim testing. And in the first elimination set, the first round, we're going to ask all of them. And we're also going to ask some open-ended questions about why do you like or dislike certain statements. And all this is based on a max-diff exercise. So you really, for each person, you can really have a good read about which statements are better or worse than others. And the next thing is that, especially for open-ends, we see that for statements that are not so good, you don't need to have so many open-ends to understand why something doesn't work. On the other hand, for something that, to really tell the difference between two really good statements, then probably you need to have more open-ends because the difference is going to be a bit more subtle.
Okay. And I have, I think, another question for you. You mentioned that there are rules that are common and valid across countries, but there are also differences. So in your opinion, which aspect is prevailing the most?
Yeah, I would say overall the similarities are, are prevalent really. And we see that claims that follow the golden rules is very likely to be successful everywhere. And country-specific differences can, increase or decrease a bit the score of one claim, but their influence is overall rather limited. So basically, I would say that as long as you follow the golden rules, you have a very good chance of success.
Well, that sounds like a good plan to me. I think we're going to close out. So if anyone has any more questions, I think, Carlo, if you can flip to that last slide, you are able to contact us. Our information is there, but we will also send you our contact details in case you are having trouble viewing the slides. Also, well, we just want to thank you again for joining today. I think we're going to close out now, and please be sure to visit skimgroup.com/webinars for today's presentation slides. They should be up later this afternoon, but you will receive a reminder from me on Monday that they are up. And also there you can find out about the other earlier sessions that we did in this cycle. So we've been covering some topics like effective promotions, manual research designs, blended research, and mobile research. So some nice topics are in there. Please have a look. So on behalf of Carlo and myself, thank you for joining us today. We tried to make it short and sweet for you so you can get to your Friday. And we thank you once again, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks. Bye.